Maybe let's segue now to talking about the Springboks Argentina game, because there was plenty there to talk about, especially this box scrum, which again, the penalties they're able to get. What are the stats here? The Boks have won 12 penalties at scrum time. The next best in the championship is New Zealand at 5.
Yeah, and I think that I actually don't, that's a good point, because everyone thinks that we've gone backwards in our own set piece, but I don't think we have. But to talk to the Boks specifically, I'm starting to think it's a mass thing. Like, they just seem absolutely, like, technically, like, the Argentinian scrum wasn't, like, they were absorbing it, but man, it was just like, there's definitely, like, oxen chair. If you listen to every prop in World Rugby, they constantly reference him. And he came off the field, and they actually, Argentina started coming back at scrum time and actually got some penalties of their own. So I do think a lot of it, like Malcolm Marx, absolute beast, the toy beast, but Oxenchair seems to be, like, when they have that absolute dominance and, like, destroying packs, he seems to be the consistent theme when they dominate. But I do think a lot of it's to do with the size of those players. Like, I'm not saying Argentina are small, but it's that transition of weight. It's Peter Steph du Toit. You can see he is like curling the grass. Like, he is ready to rock and roll. He's not going to a scrum looking up, going, who am I defending, or how do I get to the first ruck? She's all on.
He's a very large flanker.
Yeah, but they scrum for penalties. But it's just such a gift, man. When you have dominance at scrum time, there's no better feeling. You're just salivating to get to a scrum, to milk a penalty, because then you know you get a breather, you can kick to the corner, and they are just so efficient in the 22. You know, they're the one side that across the Rugby Championship score a bulk of tries 5+ phases. And it's all to do with that pick and go, just anyone, next man up, pick and go. And again, sometimes I feel like it's a mass thing. Like, they just dominate the collision, and eventually they know they eventually are going to go over.
It's demoralising as well, Jip, I think as well. Like, I was just watching even, like, you know, Argentina may got a counter attack, but like a little knock on off that, then you're like, oh, okay, well, that was a really good play defensively. But you know what? That little knock on, that was, you know, a 50-50, sometimes even a 60-40, not being that bad. And you just know you've got to go to a scrum. And even they tried quick hooks. You know, their solution was to try to get the ball in and out. But, you know, if any time South Africa had a scrum, they were just getting penalties and just bullying. You'll even look at that Cobus Reinix try. You know, it just pops out because of the dominance around the scrum and how easy it is for a 9 to score off that. And then I also agree around the 22. It's like, how do you stop them? Like, when it's in the 22 and they're being able to have guys that are latching, they've got ball carriers. I've written in my notes, how do you stop them? Because it's hard when it comes to efficiency. They get over the advantage line, 2 cleaners, good luck. So I guess the solution is that you don't want them to get into the entry of the 22. Try to have them in a low number, because when they are in there, I don't know. So Jippy, you might be better in that space to identify how you would stop it, because it seems like it's unstoppable at the moment.
Their ability to play so many different ways, I think, as well, because defenders have so much to think about. And if you look at, in terms of consistent themes with South Africa, they in the Rugby Championship, like, they have the most balanced scoring. Like, if you look at every other team, it's like, oh, that 20 minutes they're really good, and that 20 minutes they struggle. Balanced scoring, balanced defence, balanced conceding across the 80 minutes. It's not like they are just so consistent, and then obviously when they get into the 22, they build a lot of phases and score, but 52% of their tries come from turnover.
Yeah.
So they can, you know, and like, that's when I look at those stats, all I think about is when Wayne Smith brought in that click attack, Bryn, and it's like, you have 15 seconds. They have that and mass brutality in the 22. And I think that's why, because they know what they're doing, but defence doesn't, you know, so you have to be wary for the crossfield kick to Colby. You can't just tighten up and go, okay, we're going to take you on muscle to muscle. Okay, sweet, well, we're just going to go to the edge and score. Do you see, like, they've just got that, I suppose, bag of tools that will expose you. And they've got game drivers, I think, that make really good decisions based on the pitches the defence is giving them.
And that's the difference. If they're not having an off night, that's the difference between them and everyone else in the Rugby Championship.
Yeah.
I've never really seen that, like in any team, that across 80 minutes, across a competition, to see such, I suppose, consistent themes in terms of points scored, points conceded.
Just don't underestimate as well, like when you have a scrum like that, it doesn't matter where you are in the game. If it's a close game and you can know that you're going to get a penalty and you're going to work teams from that, it's a great advantage to have. And then from that as well, that we haven't even touched on their kicking game. Like if they're able to get their execution of their box kick and their push game, they can go to that. So it's kind of just picking their poison. If they feel like they're not getting that scrum is obviously a really big weapon that they're able to use at any time. But they can attack, they can maul, they can go to the scrum, they can kick, they can counter-attack. So, you know, that's pretty much 5 different ways that they're able to score points.
And man, you've got to credit their decision-making. Like, they didn't go to contestables. They knew that Argentina would like that. They want the bubble ball. They want the turnover, the disruption. They went to the cross-field flat kicks, or they went to the territory-based kicks. You know, you didn't see a lot of contestables. Like, they are very methodical in their preparation and playing to their strengths, but also exposing or not providing opportunities to the strengths of the opposition.
Let's go from there, because the Boks' ability to get a scrum penalty is really big when you consider that Argentina score more tries than anyone else off scrum attack.
It is, and but sometimes when your first phase is often number 8 because they want to do a quick pick, it takes away all that scrum attack that we probably saw in the first couple of test matches in this Rugby Championship of how good they were, the players they were getting to, the people that they were trying to fix. They were able to do that. So when you've got a scrum that's just going backwards from the get-go, pretty much from the hit, from the engage, from the set, it takes away the ability of being able to get that wide pass from 9, get to the players that you want to, more so your number 12, and being able to get to the 10-12 area early. You probably can't do that when you've got your 8 picking to try and get the ball out as quick. And he probably doesn't have that pass length like you would as a 9 if you wanted to pass it to a 12, which we'll probably see traditionally with scrum strikes these days.